Hi everybody, it's Tandy Gutierrez and this is your Tip Tuesday mini vid. So today it may seem a little bit different topic, but they're different topics all the time. So after 4 years of doing Tip Tuesdays, they always come from a genuine place of getting a bunch of questions about the same thing around the same time. And I go, that's what we need to do a Tip Tuesday about. So today I want to talk a little bit about injury because when you teach Pilates, like I do for the last 15 years, and you've practiced it for 20 years, people tend to come to Pilates because it's safer. And it is. It was created originally as physical therapy, and so it inherently takes care of the body in a kinder way. It's often used by physical therapists. And so with the alignment and the structure, and the breathing techniques, it's really safe space for joint issues and injuries, and I speak from experience, okay? So I tend to end up with a lot of what I call the broken birds. And even online, since we launched Pimp Your Mat and then into Mat&kitchen for the last 4 years, I end up with so many people who can't or don't have any other online fitness options because there aren't things that take care of bodies that have chronic injuries or issues. Beautiful piece about Pilates is that, especially the way I teach even other formats on the site, is that, again, it takes care of things. So it allows your body to heal in a way that other formats just don't. And if it's not healing and getting better, then it absolutely takes care that things don't get any worse. So it's always a better is better scenario, okay? So that's number one, that people come to Mat&kitchen and to me when they have issues and funky parts that don't do well in other formats, and they come to the mat and then really start to thrive and heal and get better and then feel more empowered and stronger and capable of doing other formats. So I've talked about this before, like why Pilates, what's the difference between Pilates versus yoga, and you can look at those other videos and links on my YouTube channel because those are there. Today was a little bit about injury. Helping to demystify and educate is always my purpose and my goal. And that people think that, when they get injured, that it's that movement and that thing that injured them. Okay, sometimes, okay? If something falls on your foot and that's what tweaked it, then yes, that was the issue. It was heavy, right? It was an accident. There was a happening. But in a regular fitness format, really of any kind, it's not typically the injury happening in the moment. Injuries tend to happen because bodies aren't balanced. They're not strong enough either in their mobility, their flexibility, or in their strength and support and stability. And so they reach a breaking point. So as a trainer and on the back end of things, we always talk about when you see bodies that are out of alignment or lifting improperly or moving, inefficiently on the mat, it's not a matter of if that body is going to get injured, it's a matter of when. If you're moving in an improper fashion, eventually the load will be too much for it or the motion will be too much for it. So typically when you get injured or you tweak something or you pull a muscle, it's not because of that one instance. That one instance is good to know because it's the piece that set your body over the edge and it said that was too much. That's typically a setup for your body that's not working, that's in imbalance. So it helps like the detective work of where the issue came from and how to heal it and how to make it better, kind of work backwards a little bit. But what happens in a body is that you have something, say an ankle, and one side of it is weak, right? So it's constantly kind of turning towards that weak side. One side of it gets overstretched, the other side of it is like over tightening. And then you try to press your foot or stretch it or push through something or you load it and then it goes, right? So it's not that particular movement that's the problem. It's the imbalance in the body that it's the problem. So the way to heal and make anything better is to go towards balancing your body, which is what I do on the mat, which is the beauty of what I teach. And Pilates as a format does that. But the way that I teach, I can make that happen in any format. So if I pull yogi moves because I think they're useful on the mat, I always approach them with this eye for alignment and balance, okay? Or even, functional movement training, like we do squats and lunges and all the goods, but always with the approach of how is this balanced? How can a body support it best? How does this make me move in a healthy way that does not cause injury, okay? So how does a body really get injured? It's not that motion. It's because there's an imbalance in it. One side, one portion of it was too overstretched. It wasn't strong enough to support what was going on. And the side that's trying to make your body do that movement pushes too hard, too fast, and it just goes. It either gets pulled or tweaked, or, it's the wiring's off. And so you need to know the particulars, but I do hear people a lot of times blame this motion. I cannot do this, X, Y, or Z. I cannot do a plank. It always makes my neck, my shoulder, my wrist fire up into this. Well, that just signals a chronic imbalance in the body that needs to be addressed. You can do a variation of that exercise, and if you move thoughtfully with progressions, you would and should be able to get into, a more full progression if your body could support it in balance. Okay, so that was kind of the Tip Tuesday tutorial on injuries, and that's a tiny nutshell version of it, but hopefully that opens some conversation, because the thing that I love to open is that I will take all the broken birds. I will take all the people that say, my wrist always hurts when I do this. I hate Pilates. I'll take you especially, okay? And that I've never been able to do this and I've never been able to do that. I can get you there. I can totally get you there on the mat in a really kind and a really thoughtful, progression, because you work, from the inside out with awareness to alignment and structure and how a body was built to work. We're just all really mean to our bodies and have beat them up for forever and thought, oh, it's fine, I can take it, or I'm weak because this keeps happening. Well, something in the body structure is weak, but that's an opportunity to heal. That's an opportunity to strengthen, right? It's all in your perception. Is it bad and broken, or is it an opportunity to learn, to strengthen, and to expand, and to explore? I originally started off as a dancer and had a ton of injuries. I was not prepared for the dancing and the amount that I was doing in any way, so I ended up with a lot of injuries. Pilates, although I wasn't excited about it. It was not by choice. I really hated Pilates in the beginning because I needed it so badly, and have come to value it over and over and over. I never chose it as my career on purpose. It kept choosing me, and it keeps choosing me, because what I see in bodies culturally, from a training perspective, when people come to me, is that they need Pilates. They need to understand how a body is structurally built to function. And that inherently is healing, that inherently is empowering, that inherently is strengthening, and that inherently brings mobility to the body. So I like to use it to flavor everything that I do, because it's the safest, the most interesting, and the most intelligent way to move. Are other formats wonderful for their purpose? Absolutely. Is there so much to be gained from really smart yoga? Absolutely. But I challenge you to find really smart yoga in most places. And, in functional movement, I still see people, they have no idea how to really do a beautiful squat, a proper squat, and that'll change your life, literally. So that is your Tip Tuesday today. If you have questions or comments about this one, I think this one in particular would be a great conversation starter, and really wanting to know things, because I hear people go, oh, I did this and this, caused this injury. And I go, there were other things that brought you to that point. That was the breaking point of it. So keep that in mind. There is always hope. There is always opportunity to heal, and always an opportunity to get better. And if you have questions or comments, please leave them below. Like and share, and share it, because again, you're probably helping educate somebody, and in turn helping them heal. So I will see you next Tip Tuesday.